at right now is the sales page for the Finish Your Book coaching group. And I'm going to be doing a critique of this page to discover what's working well and what can be improved. Now, before we get into that, let's just review the purpose of a sales page. The purpose of a sales page is not to get people to buy. The purpose of a sales page is to get people to decide whether what you're offering is a good fit for them. Now, let me say that again because it's really important. The number one, actually the only objective of your sales page is to get people to decide for themselves whether what you are offering is a good fit for them. What that means is that everything on your page has to lead into that one objective. Anything that leads people away from that objective is a distraction, and we want to get rid of it because we want people to get involved with this content, to invest a little bit of time in it to find out whether or not it's a good fit for them. What does that mean? In practical terms, that means that on any sales page, you want to get rid of all of the kind of what we call chrome, all of the stuff that's around the actual content. That means getting rid of a header, getting rid of your site navigation, getting rid of all of that stuff and just focus on the content. Now, if Original Impulse is a brand that people really are going to understand or feel like they have some relation to, you can include, a logo or something if that's something that's going to help people decide whether or not it's a good fit for them. But if that's not something that there's a strong brand association with, don't even include that, because what you want people to do is have all of their attention focused on, is this a good fit for me, and not have them be distracted and say, oh, maybe I'll go read her blog right now instead, and I'll come back to this later. The moment you give someone a chance to go somewhere else and say, I'll get back to it later, chances are they won't actually come back. So, clean this up, focus just on the content. Create a landing page that people are going to get to. Now, what that looks like is all of a sudden your page is going to look a little bit more like this. Now, another note on how to lay things out. When I first went to this page, now I was looking at it like this, but even when I'm here, I never actually read the sidebar content. And the reason is that sidebars are usually reserved for information that is not critical, supplementary, or that frankly most of the time is useless. So, especially when there's a picture there. I saw the picture and mentally my mind said, okay, that's a picture of the person offering this program. I don't care about that right now. I'm going to ignore it. And it wasn't until I had read through the whole page and said, there was no testimonials on this page. It was only when I had gotten to that point that I actually scrolled back to the top and noticed that it said author-client testimonials. And I think your headline is also deceiving because you say author-client testimonials, but I read author, I see a picture, and I think this is author information or about the author or whatever. Just get rid of the sidebar. Get rid of it altogether and put just your content, and we'll find a place to put your testimonials in line when we get down lower. Okay, that's kind of the form and function stuff. Now let's actually dive into the content. Headline: Finish your book and finally become an author. This is where you want to clearly state the promise for the page. Finish your book is a great promise because I know, I have a bunch of friends who are authors who've written books, and that's the words that they use. They talk about finishing their book. I've not, though, heard them say, I want to finally become an author. That's not language that I've heard that group of people use. Now, you may have, and if you've heard people use that language with you, then that's okay to use, but the point is you want to make a promise here that actually is in the language of the people that you want to serve. Now, the other thing you want to do, like I said, is make a promise about what this page is going to get you, what it's going to be about. Finish your book and finally become an author doesn't actually match my expectation for when I clicked to this page. If we scroll back to the menu, we can see that under workshops, I would have gotten to this page by clicking Finish Your Book Coaching Group. That's the link I would have clicked. Now, if I click a link that says that, And then I come to a page that says finish your book and finally become an author. And there's no header, there's no navigation, it's just content, which is what we want. I'm still not going to be convinced I'm in the right place because the link I clicked was talking about a coaching group, and this page doesn't say anything about a coaching group. I don't know if this page is about an ebook or a coaching group. I don't know if it's a blog post. I don't know what it is because the headline isn't making a really plain language promise. So when you think about your headline, you want it to reflect directly the link that was clicked for the person to get to this page. Use the same words as much as possible. Headline here would sound something like finish your book coaching group. Really simple, really straightforward, but you don't have to be cute with it. It doesn't have to, sound really cool. It has to be clear and obvious, because what you want people to do with the headline is say, yes, I'm in the right place. I'm going to keep reading. Next, September 11th to December 18th, 2013. Just get rid of that line altogether. You don't want people to look at that and think, oh my God, I'm going to have to commit 3 months of my life. I'm not doing this. I'm out of here. Because they won't keep reading. What you want to do at the very start of your sales page is invite people and make them feel like this is the place they want to be. The other thing to be careful about, September 11th, you don't want to lead with that because in North America especially, September 11th has connotations of being a very bad thing. And you don't want to introduce something that you want people to feel good about with an unconscious or in some cases conscious association with something that they don't feel good about. Now, once you actually convince people that this is going to be a good fit for them, then you can talk about when it is. But until you've built a little bit of trust, asking people to commit to 3 months is too much. You're asking for too much commitment off the bat. So, get rid of the dates and jump right into what I like, which is your next section. And that's tapping into the emotional needs of the people reading this page. This is where it's either going to resonate with someone and they're going to say, yes, that's what I want, and they're going to keep reading. Or they're going to say, actually, I don't think that's for me. And they're going to leave, and that's going to be fine because this program isn't for everyone. It can't be for everyone. Now, the way you do that here is really good, but I think you're taking it a little bit too far. You start off, you dream of being an author, of looking at a bookshelf and seeing your name on the spine of a book. People tell you again, you should write a book, or your business needs an ebook. Deep down, you know your business or work will be exponentially enhanced, and you go on and on and on and on. And you're saying the same things in different words. Now, a couple of really simple linguistic things. Are you talking about a physical book? You say the spine of a book. You lead with, you dream of seeing your name on the spine of a book. Well, what if I don't dream of that? What if I want to put an ebook out? If I read that first sentence and I don't plan on having a physical book, you're going to lose me right there and you're going to have to work twice as hard to get me back. What you want to do is keep this emotional, like you've got it, but tight and really focused on the core emotional need. And that's what you've gotten to when you get down to, but you can't seem to make time to finish the darn thing. In fact, you hint at it a little bit before when you say you know there's a book inside you that will help readers. You must get it out there. What I would recommend is that you tighten up this entire introductory section. You talk about the fears, you talk about all of these things, and that's really great, but you're almost going too far. You don't want people to be feeling so bad that they don't want to keep reading. You just want to tap into their emotional needs. In terms of how you structure that, so as to not go too far, a really good approach is to say, keep your first paragraph only 1 or 2 lines long. Not sentences even, just lines long. The reason for that is when you first start your page, you haven't earned trust yet. And asking someone to read a 5 or more line paragraph is asking for an investment that you haven't earned the right to yet. You get them past the headline, and you have earned the right to ask them to read 1 or 2 lines. So just give them 1 or 2 lines. And then if they're still feeling it, then you can ask for a little bit more investment, 3 or 4 lines. Never go beyond 5 lines. But start off, remember, it's all about asking people. It's an exchange. You give them indication that you understand their needs, and they will give you their attention. But you can't ask for more attention than you've earned the right to. So, tighten this up if you can. You've got really good ideas here, but you're asking too much of me. You're asking me to dwell in the muck for too long before you give me the solution. Maybe, 3 short paragraphs before you move into the what's the solution. Now, moving down, we've got a picture here on the left. It's distracting. It's getting in my way. It's not letting me scan through this page. And it doesn't help me get to my goal of determining, is this a good fit for me? Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. You don't need it. It's distracting. It doesn't add value to the page. Now, let's go down to our first subheading. So you've tapped into the emotional need, and now you're going to say, and now I have a solution. What you've done that I really like is you're using you language. You're using you language all the way through. You're talking about what the person reading this will get out of it. And that's fantastic. I really like how you've done that when you start to switch the focus away from the problem to the solution. Now, let's look though at how far it's taken me to get to the first mention of a coaching group. I've had to scroll through 2 pages to figure out what you're actually going to do to help me with this. What you want to do is keep the most critical elements, the things that are going to compel people to stay invested, within your first page, 2 pages max. But when you're starting to ask people to go on to the 3rd page before they start to see the benefits, you're again starting to ask for too much. So, when we actually get into the coaching group, let's get you the right kind of support to write your book this year. Write your book coaching group. So is it write your book coaching group or is it finish your book coaching group? Again, be really precise with your language and be consistent with it throughout. It's a program I've designed based on what I've seen work over and over for my clients, the ones who can point to their books on the shelf or on Amazon and say, that's mine. Okay, I don't really care about that. I don't know how that helps me. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to appeal to your expertise and show that you've done this before. But saying this program is one that I've designed based on what I've seen work, that's not really compelling. A testimonial will do far more for you than saying this. Instead, jump right into Finish Your Book is a professionally facilitated coaching group that will get you on track and keep you there until you've finished the book. Within a matter of months, you'll have your manuscript complete and ready for its next step. Good. Some of the work we'll do together. Bullet points. Love it. Scannable. Quick. To the point. What you've done here is an interesting thing. You've got some of these bullets which are talking about the benefits that people will get, and some of them are talking about the features of the program. I'd like you to strip out all the features and just give people the benefits. So, for example, instead of saying design accountability so you make weekly satisfying progress, just say make weekly satisfying progress. They don't care that there's an accountability program. They want to make progress. Once they get in the program, you can say, and the way we're going to do that is by setting up accountability for you. But when you're just trying to figure out, is this a fit for me? I don't need to get caught up in the how. I just want to know, what are you going to do for me? Keep this short and sweet and to the point. Choose which book is right for you to focus on now, because you probably have more than one book idea simmering really, really long. I get what you're trying to say, and you're pointing out a benefit here. But I think the benefit is focus. and the because you have more than one book idea simmering, blah 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 blah, is just almost going overboard. If you've done a good job in evoking the emotional needs earlier on, you don't need to keep re-evoking them. You don't need to get people feeling bad because they have so many book ideas in their head they just can't get them out. What you need to do is tell people, and the benefit of this program is that we'll help you hone in on the one book that's the right one for you to finish right now. And it's not even that they're going to focus on it right now. This is about finishing the book. So choose which book you're going to finish. Choose the right book to finish. That's the benefit. Commit to a writing practice that works for you and your schedule. Again, it sounds scary. Commit to a writing practice. Oh my God, I don't think I can do that. What you want to do, move people away from the feature and move them toward the benefit. Instead of commit to a writing practice that works for you on your schedule, focus on the works in your schedule part, right? What this coaching group is going to give you is a way to finish your book that works in your schedule. That's it. It's really simple. It's a simple benefit, but focus on the benefit itself, and so on and so forth. Brainstorm titles and marketing strategies when appropriate. Just take out when appropriate. Again, that's something you'll deal with in the program. You'll tell people it's not the right time to worry about that right now. But the benefit that people want is they want to know that they're going to be able to market their book. And that they're going to have, I don't even know if they care that they're going to have a great title. Because most authors, in my experience, think that they're pretty good at coming up with titles. In fact, I know a lot of authors who have their title before they have their book. Again, you know your market better than I do. So really hone in on what the specific things that people are asking for and put those in the bullet points. Everything else is extraneous. Okay, now we get to the offer. Option 1, finish your book coaching group. 7 group coaching calls, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is good because you're getting really specific and you're telling people what they're going to get out of it. Really good because you're saying specifically you're going to get 7 calls. You're going to get recordings of the calls. You're going to get accountability in a private online group. You're going to get access to a private online author zone with resources. You're going to get access to ebooks. All of that, really good. It doesn't sound to me like there's any program here. So I'm not entirely sure as a buyer or as a prospective buyer, if I'm just going to be kind of thrown into the deep end and told figure out how to swim. So that may be something that you want to work the language of a little bit. But I like what you've done here where you've got really specific deliverables. These are the exact deliverables that you can expect to receive. And if you receive these items, then I will have fulfilled my contract with you. That's the promise, right? Option 2 is underneath, and basically you say, in addition to everything above, you also get these 2 things. Now, what I would suggest here is don't phrase it as 2 different options. Phrase it as, here's the package, and for an additional X amount of dollars, you can receive these additional benefits. So what you do is you create option 1, and don't call it option 1, right? Because all the way through you've been talking about the Finish Your Book coaching group. So just call it that, one program, and then you can just add on a line that says add on up to 4 hours of written feedback on your manuscript. Submit your writing to me personally every week for extra accountability. But phrase that as an add-on rather than as a separate option. And I would flip the way that you've got your pricing. So instead of $900 or $700 if you register by, say $700 for early registration, ends September 6th, $900 regular price. That's what we see done in conferences and that sort of thing, so it's terminology that we're familiar with. And then just add one price for the add-on. Don't say it's $1,300 or $1,000. Pick either $300 or $400, whatever it's going to be, and just say add on these two features for $300. Really, really simple. And then what you can do, depending on how you've got everything fitting together, is you can actually have it be like a drop-down type thing where people can choose whether they want to add or not add the value add features, and then they can sign up with one click. And it's beautiful and it's simple, and you're not going to scare people by showing them a $1,300 price tag. You're going to say, oh, it's $900 plus $300 and $900 plus $400, and it's a lot easier for people to absorb. In fact, I read a study which was really interesting. It was not a formal study, but someone had done some testing to see pricing, and it worked out that they sold a significant proportion more when they charged their product at 2 payments of $97 than 1 payment of $197. And more interesting even than that is they sold even more when they charged 3 payments of $97 rather than 2 payments of $97 or one of $197, which means basically people like small numbers. They like paying small amounts, even if it adds up to more over time. Give them the smaller numbers, so 900 plus 400. Don't give them the big numbers. Don't give them 1,300. They're more likely to go for 900 plus 400. So, simplify this. Really simple. One option with a value add. The other reason to do that is it implies that there's less choices. When people are presented with choices, they tend to want to make no choice at all. The more choices you have, the less likely they are to choose. So, don't give them 2 choices. Give them one choice to buy or not to buy, and then invite them to add on or not. But don't give them 2 whole programs to choose between, because that's too big. Just give them one program, and then, by the way, for a little bit of an additional investment, talk about it as an investment in their book and in their future and in their business and all of that. For an additional investment of $400, you can also get this. It's much simpler. It's one offer when you phrase it that way. The price, I like that you've got it front and center. I like that your offer is clear and there's a very clear, basically contract. This is what it's going to cost and this is what you're going to get. I don't know if you're going to offer a guarantee, but if you're going to, include that in this section. Now, let's look again at how far we are down on the page. We've come through about 3 pages of scrolling before we get to the first call to action, which is sign up now. Your sign up now button, by the way, is too small. It needs to be bigger, probably about twice the size and centered so that it grabs attention. That's just a visual thing. It also needs to be showing up a little bit more consistently through your page. You don't want people to have to scroll more than 1 or 2 pages worth before they see this, and then it should show up every 1 or 2 pages again. So if you tighten up this first section to make it half as long or even shorter, a third or a quarter as long, then you go into this is what you're going to get. Super good, super fantastic. Clean up those bullets, tighten it up, get rid of some of the background information and just focus on the benefits. Then you can go into your one option. That's going to be great. Now, once you've given your first chance to buy, that's where your testimonials go, because people are going to see the buy button and then they're going to see the smiling face of someone that says, yes, she rocks, you totally need to do this. That's the place for testimonials. This is core content. It is not sidebar content. So right after your first sign up now button, that's where you want to put in the testimonials. Picture like you've got it is fantastic. The exact quote Fantastic. Make sure that you're choosing quotes that are focused on the results you got for people. Focus on results where people say, I finished my book. I've been working on this thing for 3 years, and in 3 months of working with Cynthia, I finished my book. That's the result people want. That's the result you want to promise them. The stronger testimonials, they're the ones you want to put up top. And again, you've got the names and the business name, and that's perfect. You want to make sure that that is super, super clear, like you've got it there. Okay, you've got your testimonials. Now you go into what your finished book could do for you. I'm not sure about this headline. It's a little bit loose for me. Go a little more direct. Why should you finish your book? Or why finishing your book matters? Or something like that. Just a little more direct. Plain language all the way through. Plain language. Bullets, again, really good. Now you've got your Author Hall of Fame. This is fantastic. This reinforces those testimonials that you've now asked people to read. Now, one note. You're going to put in testimonials here, right? And they're going to take 1 to 2 pages worth of scrolling, which means you need another sign up now button underneath those testimonials and before you get to this section of what your finished book could do for you. Then after this section, put another sign up. I know you're going to think, oh, I'm going to have too many signups, but the truth is people decide to buy at different times. Some of them are going to decide to buy after they read the testimonials. They're going to be sold. Some of them are going to buy when they get down all the way to the bottom, right? And some of the people are going to want to buy in the middle. You don't want them to have to scroll, because if you're asking them to scroll, you're asking them to stop and wait and think, and do I really want to do this? Is it really going to be a good fit? No, you don't want them to keep reading to find a sign up now button, because they might find something that sends them away when they've already decided it's for them. You don't want to do that. Give them the sign up opportunities all the time right there. What finish your book is not. This is good, but I would change it to say, focus more on the person. This program is not for you if. Okay? This is not a program for you if you just want an ebook to download and read. It's not a program, because you want it to be not about what the program is not, because that makes it sound like there's deficiencies with the program. You want to make it sound like this may not be a good fit for you. Now, people get scared when they hear that they should exclude certain buyers. And they think, oh, I don't want to tell anyone not to buy. But the truth is you actually do want to tell some people not to buy, because when you do that, the people who don't fall into those criteria that you've listed will say, hey, I'm not that person, which means I totally should buy this. This is totally right for me. So don't phrase it as what this program is not, because like I said, that makes it sound like your program is deficient. People won't read it, right? People don't read, they skim. So don't give them any chance to infer something that's not there. Instead, talk about why this program may or may not be for you. And then you go in and you talk a little bit about my coaching is effective, empowering, blah, 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 blah. That's okay, but you've already got a section down at the bottom. In fact, I would say just take your, who this is not for, and, then you can put it against, if you've tried this before, combine those two sections, tighten it up. Now, good way to think about this, I'm not sure where this fits into your sales cycle. So I'm not sure if you're expecting that this will be the first thing that people buy from you, the first time that they engage with you, or if you have a newsletter sign up that, your general flow comes, people read my blog, then maybe sign up for my newsletter, and then maybe they buy, a low-cost investment ebook or something, and then maybe they'll spend a lot more money on me, because $900 is a pretty big investment if I don't know or trust you. So what you want to do is make sure that your sales page is proportional to the amount of trust that you've gained with people and how far along you've brought them in the sales cycle. For a $900 investment, you've probably got not too much. You're not asking too much for people, but just be aware of that. If this is something that you're going to bring people in, cold people, they haven't bought from you before, they haven't purchased, this is the first time they're going to be exposed to you, really be cognizant of that, because you don't, again, want to ask for more trust than you've earned. Again, too, you won't need these two double sign-up buttons with things about options, which then I can't remember and I have to scroll back up and blah, blah, blah. One option, and give them the choice to add on a value add of a couple, the 4 hours of feedback and so on and so forth. I'm not sure if the personal accountability is actually a value add when you're already talking about that. You'll have accountability to a group. It may just be that you want to do this as a value add where you can get personalized feedback. To me, that would be a value add, whereas extra accountability wouldn't be, because I've already got a group for the accountability. But test it. You know your market. You know what language they use. You know what they're looking for. Okay, we go down. We're talking about how this is different, and that's good. You want to differentiate. Excellent. Differentiate yourself. You're doing a lot of differentiating. Again, see if you're saying the same things a few times. You don't want to do that. You want to just say things once and then let it stand. You want to make sure that everything is really attuned to the goal of the page, right? You want it to be asking yourself sentence by sentence, does this directly contribute to what I'm hoping to do? Okay, and then we get another sign up form, which it just looks strange when you have the two sign up buttons, and that's the reason to go to one option. Now, you've gone a long way down and you haven't reiterated what people are actually getting from this. So I would say on a page this long, at least twice, once near the top, the first time obviously, and once closer down to the bottom, you want to include the actual text of what the offer includes. Just to remind people so they don't have to scroll, because you're talking about, sign up now, and you want to remind people of what they're going to get for doing that. We go down, your book coach, great. Who am I? Using a picture here, I actually like it. So this adds value because it makes you a real human being. Yay, real people. We like to buy from real people. This is good. You can probably tighten it up. Again, ask yourself, does this sentence help people trust me more, or am I just restating something that I've stated before or hinted at before? If you've hinted at it, make it more clear and get rid of the duplication. Again, this picture is good because it, again, contributes directly to what you're talking about. And so now here you've actually got this, the program is not for you that we were talking about before. But you've basically done this twice. So now you really are repeating yourself, because you're saying, up top, you're saying this is a group where this program isn't something that you can just read the book and move on. And then down here, you're saying it's not for you if you're not willing to actually, do the work. And to me, those are the same thing, right? You want to, in both cases, disqualify people who are looking for a quick solution by reading a book and not actually having to do the work. So I think you can compress these two sections into one and just focus on, is this program, are you the wrong person for this program? And answer all of those questions in one place rather than doing it a few times. And then at the very bottom, you need to make sure you restate your offer. You need to make sure that people know what they're getting out of it, and one sign up button. So that is a really quick top to bottom look at this sales page. I'm going to also include a checklist for you, and this is a sales page checklist for the things you can do. You'll notice on that there's a lot of things that I mentioned in this video that you can review and go through in yourself and say, how am I doing on this? But I hope that that gives some actionable ideas of what is going to enhance your sales page and where you can go to help move people to your one goal, helping them determine if what you're offering is a good fit for them.